Joe, when you get a chance, we still need to get your computer set up. And Jack, I'm ready to get your computer set up. So how we want to work it. I got to go have some time to eat lunch right quick. I'm a little bit slow, folks. Lots going on. And I'm going to get the stream started and tell everybody else. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Builder Buy. It's been a month since we've been online, and we're in a new location today. We've got some homework, a little bit of housekeeping to talk about, and I've got to go eat a bite of lunch right quick, so it's just the way things are. So give me a few moments, be patient with us, and we'll tell you what we're all about. And we appreciate you being here, and we appreciate the gracious opportunity to be here as the invitation from Chapelwood. So I'll be with you in a few minutes. Y'all sit back and enjoy. Give me about 20 minutes. put?
I'm going to stay put.
That ought to be all right.
All right.
Okay, everybody, remember we got a couple of mics. If anybody's got a question, be sure and raise your hand. Get a mic so we can hear what you're saying so folks online can hear you as well. Okay, we are doing our stream right now. We are live. Hello, folks. Welcome to Builder Buy. We got some homework and some housekeeping we need to do, but we'll get to that later. Let's get on to this laptop we've been talking about. This is Jack Hamilton's laptop. It's a Dell that's been customized. Customized by who?
High Devolution.
And how'd you come across them?
Originally saw they offered a couple of modified computers on Amazon. So I dug further into who was offering them and came up with highdevolution.com. Let me just plug. Can I plug in this HDMI and it'll show up there for a minute?
Thank you. Okay, what are we going to put up now?
This is HighDev's website.
Okay. Let's see. Let me get you up online. We are. And that is number. You're up online.
Okay. High Devolution is, as you can see at the top there, highdevolution.com.
And you talked about them sometime. Whoa. I heard that. You talked about them some time ago. I don't remember the specifics, but how long have you been looking at this site for? About a year or so?
No, 6 months maybe.
6 months. Okay.
So anyway, if you go up there and you click on new laptops, and you can shop by manufacturer. And in my case, I was looking at the Dell HPS 15.
The Dell HPS 15.
And there it is. There's the various iterations. Essentially, you start with 3 basic setups. One has no touch screen, no ultra high def, and has the 56 watt-hour battery. Other than that, you can modify it as you see fit.
Did you modify the battery?
I did.
What'd you go for?
I went to the top one down here, the 2149 base price, and it has the 97 watt-hour battery.
Nice.
And of course, in order to get that, you give up the additional drive bay on the inside of the computer. So I got the heavy-duty battery. What I did basically was have HighDev do everything I did not think I would be able to do myself.
Such as?
Such as okay. As you can see, my net price here was $26.29. The good news was, since they're in California, they seem to have forgotten to add sales tax, which of course I will report at the end of the year to the Texas powers that be to make sure that they get their due. And it came with a free game bundle of Rocket League, which has to be downloaded from NVIDIA.
Yeah, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, right. Okay, it has the specs. It's got a 15.6-inch 4K ultra high def touch panel with the Infinity Edge, which means it runs right to the edge. Essentially, Dell packed a 15.5-inch computer screen into a 13-inch casing.
Wow.
I had them do a display calibration since I'm colorblind. thought it might be useful to have somebody else set that up, and they professionally calibrated that and saved the settings to a USB drive for me, so I can recreate them at any time. I had had them pick a model or a set with a minimum LCD backlight bleed. What that means is they take it from they set up all the ones they have supposedly in a dark room and pick the top 20% for the least light leakage.
Interesting.
I got the 2-year zero defective pixel warranty.
Good.
Perfect panel for 2 years. It's got a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 video card with 4 gigabytes of dedicated RAM.
Nice.
Processor is 7th generation Intel Core i7 7700 quad processor, 2.8 gig cruise, and Maxo Turbo of 3.8 gigs. Thermal paste. Okay, this was something I didn't want to tackle myself. There have been a little chatter online about Dell not being too careful. First of all, how they spread the thermal paste.
Yes.
And secondly, this uses the Cool Laboratory liquid ultra metal thermal paste,
Nice.
which will let it operate much cooler. The processors you may, these days apparently, to operate at their maximum speed, they have to be within the temperature tolerance. As the temperature that goes past the temperature tolerance, your speed comes down. So you can continue to operate, but if your temperature goes up, your speed comes down. The cooler it runs, the longer you can maintain maximum speed. System memory. This is where one place where I skimped. I had them put in just one stick of 16 gig
Interesting.
DDR4. They offer the JAWS 2600, is that 2666? Is that the next step up on speed for DDR4? I think it's 2666. They offer that.
But that's something you can do yourself
That
later.
I will do myself later, right?
Yeah.
It's got the plain Jane Dell approved M.2 4-lane solid state drive, 512 gigabytes. I plan to kick that up to whatever the hottest thing is at 1 terabyte eventually.
That's a good place to be.
That's after I get the payments made on this. One nice thing they offered was you can charge your credit card and they will debit your credit card over a 6-month period
Nice.
with no interest.
Nice.
So that helped the cash flow. For a wireless card, I had them go ahead and put in the Intel wireless.
That was a good idea
It's
for reliability.
allegedly more reliable, yeah.
Got a question.
Question here. One of the reviews I read on the 9560 that the wireless cards went down from 3x3 channels to 2x2, at least on the killer wireless. Do you know how many channels the Intel wireless?
I do not. Fingerprint reader I wanted, of course that's included from Dell. I had them put on Windows 10 Pro, which was an additional $50, which is about what we can buy it for online and put it on ourselves. So, operating system, I had them do a clean install. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like. No Office software added. The standard power adapter comes with it, which is an external brick with a wire on it. It's got the 97 watt-hour battery, and essentially that's it. It includes, by the way, lifetime technical support from HiDev,
Hopefully you won't ever need it.
and that's where we are with that.
Nice.
Now I'm going to unplug.
You don't have to unplug. You can leave that
okay.
plugged in. We're ready to plug that in.
All right.
So now we're going to look at your box.
This is the box that it comes in, and this in turn was packaged inside a much larger pasteboard box with lots of stuffing in it. It was sent FedEx, and this is obviously the Dell box, but it's got a sticker on the outside with high-dev specs for this particular machine. The only thing I did with this, I did take it out and plug it in to make sure it had a full charge on it. One of the cool things is that inside this box is a set of foam pads that suspends another box in midair inside that box. This box is fully foam lined and actually has the computer in it.
Interesting.
So
Nice.
it's very well packaged.
They could teach Amazon a few things about packaging. Do what? Or UPS.
Yeah, I had to go out to the back fence to collect it. Fell off the truck.
Was this one of those out of the trunk deals?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
They included in here the
Performance?
product key for
Nice.
the Windows Pro, 10 Pro that they put on it in the event that it has to be re-entered for some reason.
Good. Have you had a chance to scan that in yet?
I have not. I've done nothing except plug it in and make sure it was charged. It started, when I opened it up, it started to have Cortana do the installation. So I thought it might be interesting to follow along with Cortana and see how she does it.
I agree.
Included in the box are the color calibration backup jump drive and the Windows 10 clean install
Thanks, Ben.
jump drive. This is all the instructions that came with it. And half of that is in foreign language.
As long as there's a picture, we can figure it out.
As long as it's got right hieroglyphics.
Brand spanking new. Now, how long have you been sitting on this?
How what?
How long have you been sitting on this?
Since last Thursday.
Wow, you got better patience than I do. You didn't have to unplug it. We've got another one here for you.
Oh, okay.
You can leave that plugged in.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. We try to be prepared. I thought I was going to have you and Joe up here, but instead I got you up here in two places. So
All right.
we're flexible.
Gotta
And Joe's
figure out
working
where
on the computer.
HDMI adapter is.
On the left side,
Looks good.
we can get it over there. Let's plug it in where you'll be able to see it. Yep. Okay. This is the first time anything's been plugged into it.
Yep. Thank you.
Now, are you going to need a hardwired connection, or are you okay with wireless?
I think I'm okay with wireless. We'll have
Okay.
to set up the whole deal, but
Okay.
all right, here comes power.
Powering up.
This is my 99-cent mouse that I bought on eBay.
Nothing like a good deal.
Does that include shipping?
Yes. From Hong Kong, and it only took about 30 days.
We're getting somewhere. There you are. Well, it was starting to come up. There it is.
Hi there, I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help.
And I will show you how to.
Sign in here, attach a Wi-Fi there, and we'll have your PC ready for all you plan to do.
And I'll show you how to turn that off. If you want to.
Yeah, I'd like to go with the full Microsoft package this time, just for fun. I can always turn it off.
Give it a month. You'll be wanting to turn it off. In fact, I'll show today how to do that. So then Jack will say, Gil, could you show me again how to do that?
I've got it turned off on my other three. Okay, are we in the Turks and Caicos? No.
Sounds good.
United States, I guess. Already selected. Well, so much for 99
your
cents.
mouse needs a pad. Give me just a second. I'll get you one. Forgot about that.
Usually it works on.
Is set to US. Want to stick with that?
Yes.
Which language do you want to use for your second keyboard layout?
Does it show Pig Latin?
Second keyboard layout.
Here you go, Jack. Top of that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I've got that you want to use Bangla, India. Is that right?
No.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'd
don't let me
rather
hold
have
you
my
long. Just
sec.
pick the one you want from the list.
How about English from Australia?
How about the same one
I don't see one
that we use?
for Texas. I don't see one for Texas.
Under R for redneck.
Oh, I don't see one for that either.
I'm gonna make them both the same. I didn't even know I had a secondary
Which
keyboard.
layout do you want to add? Next up, the legal stuff.
Ah, EULA.
Sure, you have to accept to use Windows. You
Yes.
can decline, but then, no Windows. Do you accept? Now let's get you connected to a network. That way you can get updates, apps, and cat videos as soon as possible.
CMC
How about
guest.
the first one on the list? Want to use that one? Mission accomplished. You're all linked up. All right, you're connected. Now, we'll check for any updates.
Just to remind everybody, this audio that you hear from this computer talking, you hear it here at the meeting, but you will not hear it from the stream online. I had a converter lined up to work with this to let me remap the audio. It arrived broke, so I had to send it back. But in the future, the audio we hear from the computers at the meeting, we'll also hear online. I got a story I'm going to tell you about Amazon that y'all would not believe.
Found some. Hang tight while we get them installed. Don't turn off your device, please. Done and done. You're up to date.
What's the weight on this? Do you remember?
The weight?
Yeah, what did it weigh?
About that much? I have no idea. I think it's 4 point some pounds.
I wonder how that compares to Nick Streeter's laptop. You have any idea, Nick? I'm curious. While it's coming back up.
I'm sure Dell.com would be glad to tell us.
Sure. That's the only thing about HDMI coming out of a laptop. We're secondary, so we don't get secondary until we get into Windows. So we have to go to a camera, or now we have it. It's coming up. Just takes a minute. Once it's configured,
Now, let us know if this computer. Of course. We'll set it up accordingly. Type your email address or phone number, then follow the instructions to sign in. I'll catch up with you once that's done.
or you can set it up as an offline account.
Is that advantageous for some reason?
If you do it with this Microsoft account, then that account is always tied to that computer. If you like that capability, that's why we've always said don't have an internet connection when you set Windows up, and then it won't be doing this.
So offline's better?
Well, that's my opinion. If you want everything where it syncs, then you want to do the sign in with Microsoft
let's do it.
account.
But I don't have to use Microsoft's email, right?
You don't have to have their email address, no, but they'll tie that account to you.
Okay, but I can use my own.
It's all up to you. Options. We like options. As long as we're aware of those options, you just have to stop and think about it. That's why the easiest way to set that, if you want it that way, is just don't have an internet connection.
Why isn't that?
Is that working for you?
There we go. It got out of.
While you're putting in a password, we'll just change the screen.
Well, I don't want a password. I want the. Is this the password blank? I'm looking for the email blank.
It should be email.
Yeah. Okay. I hadn't finished doing that yet.
Gotcha. I was going to say, is Larry Trissett here? We could use his credit card for something today. That used to be a joke. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Appreciate everybody's support. Appreciate everybody's patience. I've been sick. Mom's been sick. Mom's been in the hospital twice. July the 4th, she went in the first time. 10 days. She got out for 48 hours and went back in the hospital a second time. A doctor changed a medication, a blood pressure medication, lowered all the sodium in her body. She was like the rubber band leg lady. I fired that doctor. Okay. Password? What's the password for that email address?
Oh, they want it for that address. Okay, I thought they wanted a new one. Excuse me.
Your email
Yeah.
or password is incorrect. Okay, slow down. Let me write this down while you do it. I may need that later. Teasing. Now password for the computer.
No, huh?
Enter your password. Enter a password.
It says it's incorrect.
Yeah,
They want my password for that email, right? That
Right.
I put in?
right.
Well, it was correct, but we will do it again.
It doesn't like the password for that email address. Just a second. You got the email address set correctly. Do what?
Email you're putting in it. For when you sign into Microsoft, you give it a email, and then it's the password, the word to get you into Microsoft.
So Microsoft is expecting you to use a Microsoft account?
That's what I'm guessing is what it is, and then you have a Microsoft password associated with the email address that you give it.
Well, the email address he put in on Earthlink, is that right?
Yeah.
He puts in the email address password for Earthlink, and it doesn't like it.
Well, that means probably then that you don't have a Microsoft account set up?
Let me back up here. No, I don't have. That's what I'm supposedly doing. It says sign in with Mac.
Yeah, but
Microsoft.
you've got to sign up for the account to get your password. You sign up to a Microsoft account and get your email address and and then you put in a Microsoft account password.
There was no mention of that. It said put in an email.
Email, phone, or Skype. Oh, sign in with Microsoft. I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention to that. So if you have a Microsoft account, that's what you'd put in. Otherwise, you're
Okay.
going to need to create an account. You have a
Jack, do you still have an Earthlink account?
Yes. The Earthlink account was what he was trying to use.
I know, but as far as I know, Earthlink's out of business. We had to change all ours to Comcast. So it could be if you're
No.
still trying to use Earthlink.
They're still operating under all their own old
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Has nothing to do with Earthlink.
Right.
It's
That's a different issue.
a different issue, yeah.
So you have an account on Microsoft?
I think so.
I've got one, but I couldn't tell you what it is off the top
This
of my
is
head.
very old memory, so hang with me.
Okay. Oh, it grayed out. There you go. That should work. Is that right there correct?
Yes.
Okay. It should take that. Now then, password for that account.
Oh boy, now that I'm not sure of.
I've got one too, but I couldn't tell you what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah, doesn't like it.
Let's see if he's got it this time. No, doesn't like it. Then the other option is to set this up without being tied to Microsoft.
Okay, so we'll go back and do an offline account.
Right. So you can get this thing up and running. Okay, set up personal use. Offline account, bottom left. Okay, if wherever life takes you, sign in or create a free Microsoft account for enhanced security. You can say yes or maybe later. I would say maybe later. Now, who's going to use the PC? This is an offline account. This is back to the keep it simple. You can always go and do the online account later when you got all that stuff in front of you, when you can do cut and paste. And if you want a password on there,
Do I have to have one?
no, it's up to you. Is the
Okay.
wife going to use it?
No.
Now, this is something really, really important.
She doesn't understand what a keyboard is anymore.
Oh, okay. For me, that's something really, really important. When you're networking computers, and this bleeds into the new Windows. Has anybody had the new Windows 10 version 1607 download yet onto your machine? Okay, when you do, it will screw up your network. It resets that stuff. It resets the password. In other words, if you set it where your network is all open, it resets
These are
it.
the settings Microsoft recommends. Go ahead and review them and select accept when you're ready.
Okay. Location, speech recognition, diagnostics, relevant ads, and tailored experience with diagnostic data. That's up to you.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take it because if you don't get relevant ads, you get irrelevant ads. It doesn't cut down on the ads, just the fact that they don't tailor them to you anymore.
Okay.
Okay, that's the last step. We need to get a few more things polished up for you, and Windows will be all yours. Looking forward to helping out.
Okay, to network this computer, what we would need to do is go into the networking settings. And if this had been an existing computer, say like your computer, Nick, and you upgraded to version 1607, if you didn't have a password set and your network was wide open, when you install version 1607, it will reset that one setting, preventing your network from working. It'll change it to put a password in. And we have to go back and tell it no password. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But if you've got your network set up with a password like most of us have, the upgrade has no effect. Is that correct?
Correct. I wouldn't say most people, but as some people have. Some people do have and some don't.
Oh.
If you don't have a password set it up, it'll change it. But if you do have a password set up, it'll leave it like it was.
Yeah, one still works for me.
I'm behind 2 routers, so I'm not worried about someone getting in. Joe?
One of the things it does when you get that 1607 is if you're on a network that's not a Microsoft network, it screws that network up completely. And then you run through that, inner network credentials.
Oh, that's true.
And that's almost impossible to do.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, you got the desktop up.
Okay.
Looks
here.
good.
What's a non-Microsoft network? Curiously.
Joe?
If you got 3 or 4 computers in your house and you don't go through Microsoft to set them up, that's a local network. You got a local network and you got a Microsoft network. And I don't use when I use my local network, I don't use Microsoft to sign on. And I've got my one as my password on my non-local network.
I
On my
guess,
local network.
I mean, it's all going, the network on your router, is this, or is you talking about a home group or something else?
No, I do not use home group at all.
No.
And that's another problem that gives you, if you use home group, you don't have the inter-network credentials, baloney. But if you don't use home group, which I do not, you get in that inter-network credentials loop. But I'm still trying to find out. As a matter of fact, when I have 3 computers in my office, I can go from my computer to any one of those and get data from them. But I cannot go from them to my major desk and suck data down to that one. I've actually got to get up from that computer, go sit down at the other one, call it up, push the data over, then go back and sit down over there and finish what I was doing.
Well, I have 3 computers, and I just get data from all of them, and I guess I don't know what a non-Microsoft network is. I mean, it's just a networking system that's in Windows 10.
Okay, Jack, what are we getting ready to do? Looking for another USB port?
Yeah. I have a thumb drive here. I thought it might be interesting to,
Okay.
that has Belarc on it.
Oh, good.
Which I guess I could just run from here, right?
See what you got. Yes. Now we'll run Belarc Advisor and inventory machine. Like that. Great idea. Yes. Wow, it's really raining out there. Nick Streeter, Joe. Oh, about the rain? That's what I was saying a while ago. Of all days for it to rain, it's been dry all month. Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. Belarc, take a few moments. That went silent. How do you get that back up? Ah, nice. Oh, Gal Gadot. Yeah, she's my hero.
Saw Wonder Woman 3 times already, huh?
Saw what?
Saw Wonder Woman 3 times already?
Oh, I haven't even seen that one yet.
Oh, you haven't?
That's not the only movie she's in. Have you seen the one where she's the secret agent and the couple move into the neighborhood and the other couple are like, who are these people all about?
I have not.
That is a good movie. It's funny.
You know, reportedly, she did Wonder Woman for like $130,000 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll bet her next one's going to
Put a 0 on.
cost a little bit more.
Easy. Easy. And she got a lot of flack for doing that role. And she said, you know, why not? Because here's a strong woman they're showing doing some really cool things that guys usually do. But she's done some other movies that are amazing. I like the one where she plays the secret agent. She moves in down the street from this other couple. I think Zach Galifianakis is in the movie. And is it Isla Fisher? It's a funny movie. I think she's originally Israeli, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, she is. She's an amazing actress. I wouldn't mind having her moved across the street from me.
I was amazed at, who's the gal that plays on House of Cards, that plays the president's, or the,
House of Cards.
plays the protagonist's wife. She played the Amazonian
That I don't remember. That's not what we want up there. Thank you.
war chieftain in Wonder Woman. She was awfully good too.
Man, it is really raining. I gather we have a metal roof on this building. Wow. Okay, so we're checking the network right now. 78%. I'm eager to see once you inventory this what you've got in it. Now, Jack, when you started this process, how long did it take from start to finish when you ordered the computer? How long did it take before they delivered?
They said it would be a week to 12 days, and I think it was, see, I ordered on Friday, took just about 12 days.
12 days?
Yeah.
But from what I can tell, it's worth the wait.
Of course, you can expedite it for a fee,
Oh, absolutely.
but at my age, patience is cheap.
There you go.
They were very good to work with. I researched, I read a lot of all their stuff online first, and then I called them up and talked to them. And then I called them up again to place the order, just to make sure I did it right, especially with the split fee on the credit card, that kind of thing.
That's nice. B&H also does that sort of thing.
They stepped me through it. They explained what they did on each step, why they did it, why they thought it was important.
Well, I agree with what they did on
what
the
the benefits
CPU.
would be.
Good. Checking the network, 81%. That may be slow, but it's worth the time. I've seen some very expensive network tools that do not do as good a job checking the network as this does.
Now, if it would be beneficial, I don't know if it would or not. I've got on this jump drive a ultra high def download from Amazon.
Is it a video?
It's a video, yeah.
We cannot play it here
And,
if it's copyrighted material because we'll run up against the copyright.
Oh, okay.
Now, this other converter that I was going to have here today allows me the ability to punch in an image that only the people online would see. When I get that new converter back in, we'll be able to show something like that.
Okay,
But if we show it here now, we get a copyright notice.
would that be the same case for things that are designed just for demonstrations of ultra high def? 'Cause
It depends on who did it. Are we talking of,
there are several of those online available too. I did not get them. This was a
for example, if we looked at a video of how to put a CPU on a motherboard from MSI, that'd be okay. But when you remember when we showed the quadcopters?
yeah. I remember we got in trouble. with
We got a
that.
copyright infringement for that. And the second time was when Joe showed a movie where we were doing some stuff with that program to show what happens when you change the formats. We got a copyright notice for that. So that's one of the reasons I got this converter. I can put an image up there that everyone else will see, and they won't see what we're looking at. But I had to send it back because it was broken. Okay, so what do we got here? Windows 10 Professional. And was that something that was part of the build, or did you have to choose Professional over Windows Home?
I chose to have professional. Yeah.
So you had to pay extra for that.
Yeah. Well, it was $50 extra for the clean install of Windows Pro.
Okay, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's about what you'd pay for it online and have to do it yourself. So.
And it shows the installation was done 7/27/2017. So, pretty current. Processor. You got your tag for Dell.
Everything we read about. I was hoping it would tell us more about
The drive.
the drive.
I would have expected it to.
Apparently it must be a real,
Hynix, NVMe, we're getting a feedback. Somebody turned on a phone or something. Oh, keep that up. Okay. Yeah, don't point that down. Yeah, here it is. It shows your drive is an NVMe SK Hynix.
okay. You ever heard of that?
Hynix?
Yeah.
Yes. Joe can tell you what he thinks of Hynix memory. What do you think of Hynix memory? Hynix? Okay, what was the one that that you did have a problem with? That was MALabs. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Hynix is fine. And you got 2 DIMM slots, so one's empty. Now, when you add memory, are you going to take that one out and put 2 in?
Depends on my budget. If I'm just kicking up the memory, I'll just drop another 16 gigs stick in. But
And hopefully you can match.
I would like to bump them both up to the JAWS high speed.
And will it take 64 gigs? Or 32? Because if it's 32, you got 2 16s.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll take the 64 or not.
Well, that's 16 gigs of memory for a laptop is a good place to be. I don't think you'll need to upgrade it. You may want to upgrade the NVMe drive later, in my opinion.
Well, I want to get a terabyte for one thing because I intend to do a lot of movie work with it.
Yeah. So you got Intel graphics, Intel 630 graphics, as well as the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 dedicated. Nice. Oh, it's interesting. It even shows the converter on the decimator for the monitor. That's interesting. Yeah, so we can get you up on screen. Curious. Shows the NVMe Express controller. Realtek audio.
Other devices, mic, speakers, AC adapter, jeepers,
I'm looking at the network. Where do you see AC adapter?
right here.
Oh, I'll be Microsoft AC adapter. Yep. I was looking at your network. 240 megabit is your connection speed. Wow. Nice. And on the other adapter, it says cable unplugged 3 megabit. How do they figure that?
Where are you looking?
Right here, 3 megabit.
Oh,
Wonder how they get 3 megabit when it's unplugged. I guess we should have plugged it in, let it test it, and see what it would have come up with. But still, for the wireless.
That's the Bluetooth device. We don't have Bluetooth turned on, do we?
No, don't think so.
Bluetooth. No. Bluetooth.
I can learn to understand you much better if I can get familiar with the way you talk. I need your permission to help.
Did she say she's going to hug you?
My other two do. When does fall begin?
Oh, they want you to set your mic up.
Peter talks to his computer. He prefers it to typing, and particularly whatever. Boy, she cut me off right in the middle of it.
Your microphone might need to be set up. That's been fixed. So now you can close that troubleshooter. Let's scroll on down and see if there's got anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, the network. The USB devices. So the things that you have done and then the things that they have done. Interesting. And then the network map. Wow. That's the whole wireless network map. That's wicked. Well, I'm impressed.
Well, for 2629, I should be,
Yeah, it ought to have a gold monkey and whistle Dixie.
but
So now as you use this, I hope over time you can report next week and tell us your opinion of it.
okay.
You think you got your money's worth? Anybody any questions about Jack's computer? We got it set up and running. He's on the network. He's wireless. Anybody? Nobody? Okay. Now, this is Windows 10 Professional. Can we use your computer to show how to shut off Cortana?
Sure.
Call up the group policy editor.
And how do I do that?
I thought you'd like to talk to it. You can either
Okay.
type it in, group.
Okay. Group policy editor.
Okay. Let's make that full screen for right now. Let's go to, move that bar over just a little bit so we can read all that good stuff. Okay, that's enough. Let's go to, I believe it's Windows settings. Yeah,
Under user or computer? Got one here and one here.
I believe it's under computer. Windows settings.
You can't read it?
We can't bump it up because he's got this set a high resolution, so I'll have to read it to you. Right now we're under the group policy editor, and what we're going to do is from here we can turn off Cortana. Cortana does this in the registry. Once we set this, we'll go into the registry and show you what that setting is, because once you know what the setting is in the registry, you can do this on Windows 10 Home from the registry, because Windows 10 Home does not have the group policy editor. Windows 10 Pro does. It makes it easy. I think it was under computer. It may have been under user configuration. Give me a second. I'll
Let me
double
open
check.
it up, see what,
That's the same thing we've got up.
I've got them both open here now, Gil.
Gil,
Yes.
for a person that doesn't know what Cortana is, can you explain it to me?
Cortana?
Yes.
Cortana is Microsoft's search personal assistant that takes over the computer. And Cortana is what Jack is interacting with and talking to. Cortana watches what you're doing if you let it, and it will overwhelm a computer. And if your computer, if anybody's got an older computer and it starts bogging down, if you understand and know how to turn Cortana off, that will free up some resources, because it is very resource intensive. Now, if you are, one of the processes it spawns, there's a mic. One of the processes it spawns is has something to do with search. And by spawning that search, because it's always up in memory, to kill the process is impossible. It just keeps coming back. So we're not completely getting rid of Cortana. What I'm going to show you how to do, all we're going to do is just shut that process down so it doesn't keep using resources. You can't totally get rid of it. But Cortana is Microsoft's search personal assistant. If you want to keep it running, you're welcome to it. But if you're having grief with it, there's a way to turn it off. And I had a link that I had prepared for that I was going to share with you guys, but I haven't had time to call up email. We are doing good to be up and running as quick as we are. So give me just a second while I look for it, and I'll tell you how to do it. There is, didn't plan on you bringing that computer up on screen. There is a, there used to be a setting in Windows 7 where you could shut Cortana down, but as of version 1607, that's another property sheet that Microsoft has taken out. So to reiterate, that's why we're doing it from the group policy editor. I've done this a number of times. But if I do this from a link, it's something that'll make it easier for you guys to do it. Let's see. You got the Search Windows tool. It's in the anniversary update. How to do it from the registry. But I want to do it from the, that's where we're headed to. But I want to do it from the group policy editor. So give me a second while I look for it. Say group policy editor. Yeah, computer configuration administrative templates. Computer configuration, go to administrative templates. Yeah, right down there. Administrative templates. Yeah, click on that, open it up. And then I think we go to Windows Components. Yeah, Windows Components, then we're going to go down to Search. Yeah, go down to Search. Okay, hang on a second. Yeah, Search. And right there where it says Allow Cortana, you click on that. And right now, it says it's not configured. I'm surprised. Normally, what I would tell someone to do would be to disable it. Now, yours is still in a state of not configured.
Probably because we didn't sign into
With a Microsoft account.
A Microsoft account.
And I'm real surprised. When you bring up the Edge browser, Cortana will interact with you. But if you're having difficulty, once you set this, it makes the setting in the registry. Let's bring up the registry and I'll show you where that's at, because there's a key you have to create.
You're bringing it up, or you want me to?
Oh, I can. I'll do it on mine.
Okay.
First of all, let me bring up the group policy editor. Don't want it online. I want it on this computer. Okay, group policy. Got two of them. Take it full screen. I'll go administrative templates. I'm going to Windows Components. Then I'm going down to Search. And right here, Cortana. Mine's not configured as well. What I do is disable to keep that from coming up. And once that setting is set to disable, I'm going to show you what it looks like in the registry. So we'll bring up regedit. And I don't remember where that was at in the registry. So I got to go look. Let's see, we're going to HKey local machine, to system, I think. No, local machine, software, policies. Make that full screen. Policies, Microsoft, and I believe Windows, yes. And then Windows, should be Windows Search. Windows Search. Windows. Hadn't been set on this computer yet. The computer I was going to do the presentation on is not turned on because I didn't have the extra monitor I need to run it from. I had that all set up and ready to go. And I realized at the last minute I couldn't do it. So I don't know if I've got it on this third one or not. I'll take a look. Group policy editor. Administrative templates, Windows Components, Search, Search. Allow Cortana lock screen. Allow Cortana not configured. Wow. I've set this on 4 of the machines, but apparently one of those 4 was not one of these 4. So the setting I'm trying to show you in the registry is not there. It creates a D-word value, a 32-bit D-word value, and once we know what this is, the point of showing you this is once we know what it is, we should be able to create that key and export it so that anybody could then import that key into another computer without having to go through all this rigmarole. But this link on How To Geek will show you how to do it. And it talks about creating the key. If you don't see a Windows search key, right-click the Windows folder and select New Key and name it Windows Search. And once you do that, here it talks about the D-word 32-bit value. This will get you to that point to do it. So I'll go through the process. I'm going to bring up the group policy editor again. Nope. Let's just go straight to the registry. Go reg edit. Okay, we're back to the registry. Go back to the top of this. Okay, HKey local machine. Then we're going to go to software, HKey local machine software policies, software policies. And from policies, should be Microsoft, Windows, and under Windows should be Windows Search. And then, so if you don't see Windows Search, then we're going to right-click the Windows folder and select New. Okay, right-click the Windows folder, we're going to select New, and then we're going to create a key, New Key, and we're going to name it Windows Search. Now, what I'm showing you, this works in Windows 10 Home and Windows 10 Pro, but in Windows 10 Pro, I don't have to do this. If I had set that other setting and told it not to shut it off, not be interactive, it would have put this in here for me automatically. Okay, there's the Windows Search. Now I'm going to right-click the Windows Search key folder, and I'm going to select New, and I'm going to create a D-word 32-bit value. Right-click, D-word 32-bit value. And that value needs to be the value of allow Cortana. So the name will be allow Cortana. And notice the value of that is 0. Double-click and set the value to 0. Close the registry editor. Now you can sign out and sign back in or restart the computer for changes to take effect. But what this does, this allow Cortana 0. And there it is, download the one-click registry hack so you don't have to do what I've just gone through. And to change it back, set the value to 1. But I've effectively, by doing this, I've got Cortana shut off. And the purpose of that, you know how you bring up the task manager? And if you look in the resources, what you're looking for is you'll see Cortana running or you'll see something that says search. If you notice Google.
Up.
Do what?
It's up.
What's
Up
up?
where you are. Up 4.
Oh, thank you. See Cortana? Now if I try to kill that, give it a minute, comes right back. It's still there, but it's only using a small amount of resources. There's some rigmarole that tells about what you can do to kill that, but good luck with that. And there's another search it spawns called search something. I spent several days working on this, and I don't see it up here right now. But as long as all it's doing is just sitting there, it's not using a whole lot of memory. And because I killed it, it came back with the background task. I'll end it. I can also show you in the Windows directory where this is going on, which is kind of curious. Watch it come right back. Okay, I'm gonna bring up the Explorer. I'm gonna go to this computer, to this drive. I'm gonna go to Windows, and this is under the, I believe it's System 32. System 32. Hang on a second. Maybe it's under System. Nope. There's a folder where this stuff resides, and there's some information on the internet that tells you how to shut this down. It doesn't work. Cortana. Let's see, where are the Cortana files? Give me a second. I'm going to go look it up. It'll be faster than sitting here waiting on me. Cortana on hard drive. Cortana folder. Give you just what you asked for. There's a way to disable it. Okay, that's the search UI is what you'll see. The Cortana folder. There is a folder. I'll shut down the registry for the moment. There is a folder. I don't remember where it's at. Let's do a search for it. Cortana, search and settings. See if it'll give me the folder. Nope, I'll have to do it this way. See if Windows will go find it. Well, I've got some information in this file. Maybe that's what I... Okay. Oh, I was in the wrong folder. Windows System Apps. Let me go back. Okay. This drive, Windows System. That's showing up different. I'm not seeing the Windows System app. I got speech. Let me look on another one. You know, it's great when things work like they're supposed to, and then we get up here and then they don't. Windows System. This one doesn't show it either. Oh, there it is. There it is. I got ahead of myself. Windows System. There it is. System, System 32, and System Apps. Okay. Windows System Apps. And right there it is. That folder. That folder called Cortana. And that's something else I'm working on is another converter that lets us zoom in, so I'm not having to zoom in like this. But it does region of interest scaling. I think I got it set. I don't. Give me a second while I set it. Let's see, magnify. Would help if I spelled correctly. M-A-G-N-I, magnifier. Okay. Right click, open file location. Right click, properties. Ah, it hadn't been used on this machine. This is not a machine I normally do a presentation on. Okay, magnify. Okay. Right there, Cortana. Now, theoretically, if you can take that folder, and if you look inside of it, first of all, if I click on it, it's going to tell me to take ownership. If I take ownership, I still haven't accomplished anything. But what I want to do is either rename that or put that someplace else. Good luck trying it, because it spawns that other process. But if you can figure out a way to make that stop running, that'll totally kill Cortana. Because if I click on this, it's going to say, oh, didn't do it. I've had other computers where it said you need to take ownership of that. But all this stuff, and there is a ton of stuff in this folder that deals with this. Let me zoom out just a second. Cortana, right click, and there are, well, that only says 21 files. I had one that had like 80 files in this directory, 80 or 86, and I had to take ownership of it first. So this might work. F2 home, X. Okay, you need to provide permission. It's not going to let me, but I'll say okay. Wow. I've tried that on 3 other machines and that didn't work. I just shut down Cortana. I spent hours on 3 other machines and that would not work. Wow. The task manager. It's still there right now, but when I reboot, it should go away. So it's still coming back up. Now, if we look at the properties for it, it's looking at the Microsoft Windows.Cortana, because it's also spawning that search. It's search something. And that will come up in memory too, and I'm not seeing it on this machine. I just made progress, though, that I've never been able to do. There's the background task. I can get rid of that. But when I try to kill this, right now it shows CPU 0. It's using 31 megs of memory. It says it's taking 0 disk space, and it's taking 0 on the network. So it's still in memory, but it's not giving me grief. It's not capping out my CPU. For example, which one's running the most? Windows Gadgets, got to have that. Google Chrome. If you're running, how many of you still run, what's that browser? Firefox? Yeah, Firefox. How many of you still run Firefox? Okay. If you run Firefox and you run a whole lot of instances of that, it does certain things to memory that the only way to get it back is to kill it and bring it back up. If you're running, say, like the Google Chrome spawns an instance of each one of those Google Chromes, but there's also the process it creates. It's like going down a rabbit hole trying to chase it and figure out how to get rid of it. Again, the easiest thing you can do is shut down Chrome. Chrome, though, does a better use of memory usage than Firefox does, because Firefox will bring a machine down to a crawl. It's the way they use memory, and you have to kill it and start it over. I've had it with Firefox. I've also had it with the email program Thunderbird. Sometimes you have to kill Thunderbird and bring it back up. It's like it's got a memory leak. Yes, David. Glad you're here today.
Well, evidently you guys were trying to hide from me because
Did you get the email?
I searched for an email for Lou, and I never did find one. Finally, I went on while I was over at.
I sent one to you.
Okay, well, I got to look.
The first message that I send out to let you guys know, because of our move, when I send out a message and ask Lou to send out a broadcast, I communicate with a handful of people. You were one of them.
You know, well, thanks, but you know, Siri must think that you're spam or something.
You found us, so we're going to have to move again, David.
Well, I see you're in Mr. Trump's
I'm glad
favorite.
you're here. How'd you find us?
Well, I went to builderby.org, and it did say something about Chapelwood there. It didn't give any addresses or something, and for the life of me, I thought that Fairhaven was going to be associated with Tallowood and not Chapelwood. But when I saw Chapelwood, I said, oh, well, that's much closer to where I live. So how long are we going to be here?
That is a difficult question that remains to be seen, and the address is right there.
Oh, okay.
It's Chapelwood UMC. We got that up, and it's got 111.
Well, that's not the page where I was, but I saw it.
You were on builderby.org, so it ought to be the same thing. When you go to either system or either site, and you go to the index page, right there it is again.
But that's not the part of the page I was looking at. So
You,
there.
I-
Anyway,
I've had a ton of stuff, and I'm glad you mentioned that right now, because how long are we going to be here? Fairhaven is,
they're hard at the remodeling right now.
yeah, and they're doing a great job of it,
Yeah.
but they still got lots to do. Their goal is to be open by the 20th of this month. They're going to have a grand opening on the 20th. So we're going to be here for the next 2 weeks. I don't know what's going to happen after the 20th. It's going to be kind of a fluid situation. Lou is also going to be gone for 2 weeks. So she will not be able to send out a broadcast message. She won't be here next week or the week after. So again, I will communicate, and I hope you guys don't get my email seen as spam, and I'll let you guys know what's going to happen. As long as, and I hope we do the folks proud here at Chapelwood, because it's an honor and a privilege that they offer this to us. We have this separate room. Originally, they were talking about over there, and when they showed me this, I said, this is perfect.
Yeah, this is perfect.
And if we can stay here for a while, we're going to be going back and forth. For example, if they don't make their deadline of the 20th, we're definitely going to stay here. Even if they do make their deadline of the 20th, it might behoove us to stay here. But this is the month of August. The Boy Scouts will be back in this building in the fall. Define the fall. I'm not sure when they come back.
But I don't think they're going to be here at this time of the day.
Right. They'll be here in the evening, more than likely. I don't think they'll be here in the daytime. I agree. So if it works out that we can stay here for right now, it's a good thing. We could be here for 2 or 3 months until they get things squared away over at Fairhaven. At some point, when we do go back to Fairhaven, we'll still probably come back here if they allow it, because, you know, you remember, was it in January when they did that garage sale? And we had to shut down for a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
We could come back over here and keep meeting. Now, even though, like I said earlier, Mom had been sick, she's been in the hospital twice this month. I got sick, lost my voice. My communiques, I didn't even try to talk to anybody on the phone. All I did was just email Lou and ask her to send out messages. So I got a message out to her, I guess it was yesterday or Monday, and you got the message out last night to let everybody know about this. Again, we'll be here for the next 2, maybe 3 weeks, and I hope the folks with Chapelwood who've been gracious enough to let us be here will see value in what we're doing and let us continue to be here more. I hope that eventually some folks from Chapelwood will come in and we can help them. Today was a big wow. Change in location, change in setup, several things that we even had to go back to Lou's house and pick up something she forgot, and it took me longer to set up because of a change I made, so I lost 2 hours today. That 2 hours, next week, we should be on time.
You know, speaking of Fairhaven's garage sale, one thing that we do at the Houston Area Apple User Group is we have something twice a year that we really should have only once a year. But I think it might be great for us to have a garage sale.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
We got enough junk. I mean, we got enough stuff.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's junk is in somebody else's treasure. So.
You're right.
And I got mountains of it. But.
You know
Pardon?
what?
You too.
You know what we ought to. What we ought to do maybe is I'll talk to the folks here at Chapelwood and see if they do something like that, and I'll talk to Bob, because it seemed like it'd be easier for audience, for crowd, if we could bring our stuff to their thing. And then whatever they don't sell, just.
Well, I'm not sure I want my to not be there with somebody pawing over my tech stuff. I'm not going to do that. Controlled place where we have 2 or 3 hours where our guys come by and take a look at electronic stuff. You know, that's one thing. I certainly am not going to take my stuff over there to have it sitting out there for a week or so. No.
For us to do something here, I don't know that we can do
Well,
that.
it doesn't have to be here. I mean, just like once a year where, I've got plenty of computer components and all sorts of electronic, gadgetry that.
Find a place.
Pardon?
Find a place.
All right. Well, I'm talking about instead of our regular meetings, we say like every January 7th, or the second week in January, or the second week in July, or something like that, that we have a swap meet, is what we call it at Houston Area Apple User Group.
We just need to find a place.
All right.
Now, like I said, I will ask the folks at Chapelwood, but that may conflict with what they want to do. But I'll ask.
Okay. So the reason
Joe,
that
did you have something?
On a new topic entirely,
Yes, sir.
Ed's got this new laptop he's getting for his niece,
Nice.
and we had a problem cloning a 1 terabyte hard drive to a 256 gig solid state NVMe drive.
Yeah.
And then we came up with the specs, Ed came up with the specs on how Samsung recommends you do it.
Yeah.
Follow those specs, and you can clone that 1 terabyte drive to the 250 with no problem.
So what was missing?
Samsung to Samsung.
No?
What was
No?
missing?
Them has to be a Samsung?
Yeah, just the NVMe has to be a Samsung.
What was missing?
Well, what was missing was, first of all, you had to get the NVMe drivers loaded on your machine before you make the transfer.
Ah,
Then they had a thing called Samsung Magician, which checks to make sure you got all the latest firmware. And then the third thing you have to download is a program called Samsung Data Migration, and that actually performs the clone.
interesting.
And if you buy a new Samsung SSD, all of that comes with it on a disk.
Well, it didn't come with it on this disk, let's put it that way.
Every Samsung SSD I bought for years.
You talking about an
it's come with it.
SSD or an NVMe SSD?
All right, well,
There's a big difference because
Yeah.
it'll say this was for a 960 SSD NVMe,
uh-huh.
but it says it doesn't work on the
On the M.2?
Well, it does work on the M.2, or no, it does not work on the M.2. So we
Huh,
have to go
I've
buy-
done it on an M.2.
Well, okay.
All right.
All I'm telling you is there's an easy way to clone from a larger disk to a smaller disk, since Reflect still has trouble doing that in most cases.
Yes.
You can get around that by going with this Samsung recommended.
Yeah, but one of the disks, if not both of them, need to be Samsung or else. And I think it only has to be one of them.
Actually, according to the way I read it, is the one you're cloning to.
Okay.
Ours was the NVMe, a 256 gig,
Samsung.
NVMe M.2 drive, and the one we were cloning from was a standard old 1 terabyte drive.
But it may work.
Rotating.
It may work if you bought a Crucial hard drive, a Crucial SSD, and you had a Samsung hard drive in your old computer. I think it will work that way.
Well, when I have a Crucial drive in one of my computers, and it's a 250, and I cloned a whole 500 gig hard drive onto it.
Okay.
So it wasn't 500 gig used. There's enough free space to fit down, but it all cloned down and cut down the sectors, the partitions as required. Reflect won't cut down the partitions. It looks at the number of sectors you've got. If you don't have the same number of sectors or greater, it won't clone down to it, even if only 10 sectors are used. So I've got, on my one machine, I've got the Crucial solid state drive, and that's my home theater PC. And on my machine at home, I've got the major one. I've got a 1 terabyte. I don't even know who made that one. 1 terabyte drive that I use. So anyway, we finished this one. It's up and running with everything cloned from the 1 terabyte drive down to the
256.
256.
How long did it take?
And I'm taking the 1 terabyte home so I can wipe it. The problem is, you end up, if you don't do that, you end up with 2 C drives, and you know how much trouble that causes.
Yep. So you'll clean it up.
Yeah, so I'm going to clean this one up and bring it back to him next week.
How long did it take to do that?
Since about how to do it.
Interesting.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time looking for the right instructions.
You know, it's funny that something that's always been so simple that all of a sudden here lately it's gotten complicated.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you sharing that. Next week, let's go over that again. David?
The reason I initially popped up was what you're saying about Firefox.
Yes, sir.
It was my understanding that the latest versions of Firefox have cured what you're saying, but
Has it?
that's what I understood, but I could well be wrong.
Well, that was one of the reasons I went to Google finally, because I've been a stick-in-the-mud diehard user of Firefox for...
Well, I almost always put Chrome and Firefox on whatever new computer I'm setting up. If it's a Mac, the Safari is the default browser app, and if it's a PC, it's...
which makes sense.
Yeah. But Edge, if it's a PC. But back to what Joe was talking about, I recently, my dad got a new iMac here 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we maxed it out at 64 gigs of RAM. And his old PC that we built a few years back was giving him trouble off and on. And
What kind of trouble?
I think the motherboard's going out because it just, now and then, it just will not power up. But
That was something that, where's Robert Collier? He was here a while ago. Oh, there he is. Robert had that problem. I had that problem.
I took out a bunch of the PCIe daughter cards, and just to where the only things and other components that we had ons, and just where all we had was the video card essentially.
Did that help?
And the SSD, we had a 256 gig Samsung SSD that had his operating system on it. And I was able to, yesterday, I installed a new version of Parallels Desktop on the Mac and a Parallels Transporter on the PC, and was able to make a virtual machine of his existing Windows 8.1 on his Mac, to where it works just fine. There's a few things I need to fine-tune, like the resolution and such.
So what about his old PC? Is he going to build a new computer to replace it, or just run the Parallels Mac?
He's not going to, no, but...
He's not going to build a new PC?
No. No need to. But I probably will put a Windows 10 virtual machine on his Mac. It just runs so much faster on a Mac and so much better without the problems.
If it'll do what he needs.
Yeah. And but I wanted to mention to anyone in here that Parallels, if you have 64 gigs of RAM that you want to use for your virtual machine, and of course the more RAM the better, that you have to go to Parallels Desktop Pro instead of their regular. So any of you other Mac guys want to do that, Parallels Desktop Pro, if you want to use 64 gigs of RAM. It also allows you to have up to like 16 different virtual machines, which is kind of nice. My dad's got an old, I don't know if it's Windows 2000 or some such that he wants to.
I liked Windows 2000. I thought it was great.
But he's got an old machine that's under one of his desks that he'd like to get rid of because it's almost as big as the desk. And so we'll be looking at that.
Yes, Robert.
Going back to the topic of trying to clone to a smaller disk,
Yes.
there was a time, and it's within the last year, maybe within the last 6 months, that I found EaseUS would still do that. When you point in that direction, it's proportional, And you can even move the boundary before you do it to change, to whatever proportion you want on the smaller one. But my memory, which I can't trust, is that when I said that here, let's just say 3 months ago, somebody looked at it and tried it, it didn't work. I was no longer available. But anyway, before you just give up on Reflect, try Easys, because it may be that Easys will just do that. It used to. I know it used to do it. I don't know why they would drop the feature. But last time I mentioned it here, I think we didn't see it.
Good point. Okay, I was checking on something. I had a router I was going to show you guys, and which kind of led me to, y'all know how I feel about Amazon. What time is it? Is it already that time? Wow, okay. Well, folks, it's probably that time. It's still raining. Things went long, so we'll cut it like it is, and all the other good stuff we'll save for next week. A little bit of homework and a little bit of housekeeping. Remind everybody we're going to be here for the next 3 weeks as far as we know. We'll keep you updated if anything changes. Just keep an eye on your email. It will not come from Lou, though. She's going to be out of town. It'll come from me. And the handful that I share with, please share it with everybody else, because I'm not going to put out a broadcast. The few that I communicate with, those are the ones that I'll send some stuff out to. But we got to cover the Dell laptop that Jack brought in, and I appreciate that, done by HID Evolution. I appreciate that. There's also a link up on a video from, where's Jim Fallon? Yeah, Jim, I got the link up on the video you told about from MSI, how to install an AMD Ryzen Threadripper CPU. Take a look at that. It's interesting. AMD with this new, it's a new socket, a TR4 socket on the X399. We're going to have to buy gloves and do all that kind of good stuff. They've gone to a socket that looks kind of like what Intel's done. I don't like it, but that's where we're at. It's interesting to watch. I've also got a link up on a router that I want to show you guys. I'll show you next week. And I got a story to tell you about Amazon you won't believe. About Amazon right now? Well, it'll take too long. I'll just tell you real quick. Have you ever had an order get messed up by Amazon? Anybody? How many have you ever had more than one order get messed up by Amazon? 2? 3? 4? 5? 6? 7? I had 7 orders get messed up by Amazon. I had one order I called 9 times, spoke with 10 people. One order. Spoke to a supervisor once. Horrible experience. But I got to tell you, for all the negative, the good makes up for the bad. One of the worst was a converter that got tore up, and once I finally got it tested, Amazon took it back, no sweat. Ordered this stand here. This is a light stand. Ordered one of these. I didn't get this. This is a light pole. I got a light stand. So I ordered another one. Second time I got what I ordered. I ordered a router I was going to show you guys, and I didn't realize till last night when I was looking at the manual, and I told Mom, I said, that's really interesting. This router's got features of it that are different than the picture, that I didn't think this router would do that. So there must be some discrepancy with because this comes from another country. So I'm looking at the manual and I realize, wow, they didn't send me the router I ordered. They sent me a better router than what I ordered. There's stuff there that this router is not supposed to do that it can do that. I'll tell you about the router next week. It's made by Microtik. It's on Amazon. I tried to put a link up to their website, but in Latvia, the link was horribly slow. But it's a fascinating router. It's rack mount. It also has wireless built into it. I'll tell you some more about it later. One last thing I'll leave you with. We're going to have to change out our mics, whether we want to or not. The mics we've been using are great. We got 3 years. The FCC has said the band that we operate in, as of sometime in 2020, we can no longer operate in that band. So we're going to have to change out our mics. So I'll tell you more about that later. Folks, I want to thank everybody last week who helped us get all of our stuff moved. That was a big deal, a very big deal getting moved. And as things go, it doesn't always go the way you want it to. We'll be here next week. I want to thank everybody for your support. Appreciate your dedication, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Y'all have a great day. And we'll be back online next week, folks. Thanks for joining us.